Thousands of homes and businesses have been destroyed in the Palisades fire. Many of those victims are local medical professionals. Now some fear that a group of these doctors and nurses will leave Los Angeles for other states. We're joined live by Dr. Jason Roostaeian. He's a plastic surgeon at UCLA, and you did lose your home. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
But 150 medical professionals at UCLA that we know of have been impacted by this. And I was told you do have a real fear that people could end up leaving the area or even the state.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something we have to be conscious about. You know, as medical professionals, it's you got to stay close to the hospital. You can't just pick up and leave. We can't work remotely. We have to take care of patients, and I think it's just something to be mindful of. That you know, making sure we have housing for not just the doctors, the nurses, the staff. I mean, it's a whole team effort. And you know, it's too early to tell now, but I think it's something, if we're not thinking about it now, again, you know, when disaster strikes, you want to be prepared. And I think this is an important thing to be prepared for.
Well, it's really interesting you say that. You know, I think of a number of my friends have been displaced, but they work in industries, as you said, that can work from home, or maybe they can change an office location, and, you know, they have to drive a little bit further, but not that much. But I mean, you as medical professionals are very much tied to your hospitals and clinics.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, time's always of the essence in medicine, and you can't be too far away.
So how can we as a city help out right now?
You know, I think, like, right now it's really early, and I don't think, you know, I don't know people that are just picking up and leaving. It's very hard to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, for me personally, I know I'm not going anywhere. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, and this is my home, and I definitely plan on sticking around and not going anywhere. I can't say that for everyone. There's definitely some people that may not be able to afford, you know, what they had. And I think whatever the city could do to help, whether it's tax relief, there's the ULA tax, for instance, that makes it difficult to, more difficult to buy real estate. And especially around surrounding areas, like close to whether it's Santa Monica, UCLA, or anywhere on the west side where the Palisades fire was. You know, there's different strategies we got to think of together as a community and try to help people get back into their homes as soon as possible.
Well, you lost your home. Have you been able to find housing? What has that process been like?
Very, very difficult. You know, with every disaster, you know, there's good and bad that comes out of it. You know, on one hand, I've seen amazing generosity from so many people, even strangers, and that's, you know, been really heartwarming. And then on the bad side, you see a lot of people taking advantage. Mm-hmm. And I know we have laws to try to prevent, you know, price gouging and everything, but in reality, it still exists. It's hard to monitor. I've even heard stories of people trying to, you know, having to sign waivers to say you won't prosecute me for price gouging, or I won't give you my lease. It's a difficult situation. I think something we need to be cognizant of and try to, you know, especially for people that are important to the city, right, medical professionals, and beyond that, to try to help and you know, avoid price gouging and get us, you know, housing as soon as possible.
So I do want to ask you, I think about 150 medical professionals. I have a couple of friends who, their doctors in oncology have lost their homes. Some appointments have had to be moved, that type of thing. People are understanding about that to a point where you start going, well, I need to get in. You know, the healthcare industry itself, it's sometimes difficult to make an appointment. You're sometimes 6 months out. How is this impacting the average person at home?
You know, and I know it's hundreds of medical professionals, and this is across all of LA, whether, you know, every hospital system is probably feeling it to some degree and trying to support their staff, which I know UCLA has done for us. I think it's basically, I went back to work, I've been seeing patients, and that's part of the difficulty, I would say. This is a weight on my shoulders, no doubt.
Yeah, it's a stressful job.
It's a stressful job, but I'm used to this. You know, I was in surgery and I lost my dad, you know, years ago. And so this is just something, you know, on one hand, I almost feel like when I'm operating, it's, you know, my meditation almost, where I'm solely focused. I go to a zone where I'm only concentrating on that patient. Outside of this, you know, the whole world goes on. And that's the hard part for us. We have to still deal with all the ramifications of this wildfire and trying to get our lives back together. But our time is limited because, you know, I'm spending 12-hour days where I'm concentrating on patient care, and I have to do things after hours and just make it work. But, you know, where there's a will, there's a way, and you get it done.
Well, we're grateful for all you do. I'm sorry you've had so much grief, and we wish you the best of luck as you continue to recover from all of this. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.